Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again, and today I thought we'd make a little bit of a different kind of video, only because one of the more popular videos on my channel is in regards to how much money you can make on YouTube. And this has really brought in a lot of other people that might not necessarily be interested in fitness. However, that being the case, I also do a lot of shout outs on my channel for other fitness related people. So I get a lot of questions in regards to that too. People wanting to know if they should start their own fitness related channel and if there's really any room for it on YouTube. And some of you might be thinking, how can you give advice about fitness related channels when you have to wear really small shirts and try to puff out your chest a little bit just to make it look like you lift? But that might be a topic for another story about how I really stay big. But I thought I'd do this video only because, again, I get this question a lot, and when this happens, I really try to save myself some time by making video content about it. That way, if other people ask me in the future, which they will do regardless of the fact that I make a video, I can at least point them here and say, hey, just watch this, and this is my opinion. So as part of this, I think the big thing to blame, first of all, is that video, again, on how much money I make on YouTube. Now, that was made several months ago, and what I do is I show my earnings, and a lot of people look at that as pretty good time or pretty good money for what I do, which is, again, put out shitty videos wearing really small shirts. But they think that it's really easy and something that they're just going to start doing, and they're going to start making money as well. And that can be really deceptive. Now, what you guys really need to understand is the fact that I've been making videos here on YouTube for just about 5 years. It's been a long time. Now, this isn't my first channel. I had another channel, Campbell Fitness, originally. This is Campbell Fitness TV, just so you guys are aware. But it literally took me about 6 months to even get 100 subscribers. And that was back in a time when there wasn't a ton of necessarily big fitness YouTubers out there. Now, of course, there was the Hodge twins, and there was Scooby, and there was pretty much Louis Marco. And that was it. Those were the three biggest when I started making these videos. Now, you might say Mike Chang, but let's be honest, he only really sells you stuff and doesn't really make any actual useful content. So that being the case, I might have had it a little bit easier back then. I know that's something that I run into a lot. People say, oh, the industry now is so convoluted. I'm not sure if I can really get my channel out there. What do you think? And to be perfectly blunt with you, and I'm not trying to really be a dick in this case, but it's going to kind of sound like that anyways, is that if you have to ask me that question, if you're really unsure if you should start a YouTube channel or not, my advice to you would be no. Don't start it. Only because it's not all fun and games. It takes a lot of work, a lot of patience, and a lot of consistency to actually see some return on what you do. And this can be really frustrating for people, only because, again, in my case specifically, it took me 6 months to get 100 subs. In that 6 months, I put out at least a video or two a week. And I thought my content that I was putting out was pretty good, and I spent a lot of time making sure that I said the right things or looked the right way or lifted the right way. And it was really discouraging to see that I'd get like 10 or 20 views. I maybe would get 1 sub every other day. No one would really comment on my videos. And honestly, for some people, if you're not really committed to sticking to this to the long term, you more than likely will flame out. And I've seen that all too often. And that kind of plays into another thing that I'll make a video on in the future of people asking me for shout outs who really have just started their channel. They might have 1 or 2 videos and the content really isn't that great to begin with. Not to mention there's no consistency, there's no real basis for me to go off of, and they're just looking for a cheap, easy way to grow their channel. Well, the problem is everything always comes back down to content. And this comes up a lot too when we talk about video production qualities. Yes, the fact that I have a nice camera or a nice microphone, that makes my video quality higher, but if the content is shit, and I know some of you out there right now are saying your content is shit, but if your content is truly shit, people will not watch, they will not subscribe, they will not come back to your channel. So I don't really feel comfortable oftentimes giving shout outs to people who I don't know if they're going to stick around and put up with it. That's why oftentimes these people that I choose to highlight have a lot of background in terms of videos, in terms of content, in terms of other means. Maybe they're a coach, maybe they're a trainer, maybe they have a website, because I think that their content and their foundation is good and strong, and then you should really check them out. So to bring this around full circle, should you start a YouTube channel? Yes, if you're really dedicated to it and you're going to have time and patience. It's just like a business in a sense, where your first year is probably going to be pretty rough. You have to go through the downs in order to enjoy some of the benefits that come with a channel, which is notoriety, which is maybe getting sponsored by certain companies, whatever, getting subscribers, comments, and just kind of finding your own little place in the community, so to say. So that's my advice. Should you start a YouTube channel, really ask yourself, is this something that I can stick with? I know a lot of times people get embarrassed and they don't want to share it on their personal Facebook page or other personal things with social media. And if that's the case, then it's probably not for you. So that's my 2 cents. I hope it helps. We'll do more of these videos where I basically say you shouldn't do anything because, let's be honest, I'm just trying to get all the subs and comments for myself. Or am I? In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.